Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? All right. I hope you've had a really fun week. You've been to all our side events. So today, first of all, I want to thank Hanny and Sherry for coming to our conference and share their insights today. You might be wondering, we are a crypto conference. Why are we talking about AI? Is it because of the hype? Yes, but also both technologies, crypto, blockchain, and AI, can bring transformational changes to our individual life and to our societies. So we think it's extremely important for us to address the challenges when it comes to developing and accelerating this technology while thinking about ethical concerns. So I want to see a show of hands when it comes to AI ethics. How many of you guys are accelerationists? You believe, oh yeah, we have one person there. And I believe everyone else is more cautious around how do we balance the innovation with our ethics. So will be our topic today. Before we start the panel, I would like to have both our panelists tell us a little bit about yourself and your businesses.
Hi guys, I'm Hanny, the co-founder and CEO of Showhu. And what Showhu does is we help the brands to generate the product image automatically. So you don't need to enter the prompt or edit anymore. You just upload one picture and the AI will dictate the product and auto-generate an image for you.
So hi, I'm Sherry. So when Natalie asked, hey, I'm going to having an AI panel in the blockchain week. Do you have any recommendation? Then I think, oh, that must be me because I founded an AI company in 2016, and now I'm leading the BD team of Numbers Protocol. And Numbers Protocol leverages the blockchain technology to create the provenance of digital assets, so it can help to decrease the misinformation, build trust, and protect the right of the creators.
That's awesome, guys. Check out Showhu and Numbers Protocol after this panel. So Sherry, you mentioned trust. I actually think that's a really good opening to our first question. What do you guys think about kind of like biases or reducing biases in the development and application of AI tools? What are some of your examples and how do your businesses address biases?
Actually, I think that our topic is AI. So I think every technology, AI and blockchain, so as the technology itself, they are actually neutral. So the reason why there is a bias in the technology is because how people using it. Take AI as an example. So the training data set might have a bias. So this is also one of the reasons that I transitioned from the previous AI company to Numbers Protocol, because at Numbers, we are just addressing the question that we passed based in AI industry. So with the AI training data set, you need to know how the data set is being generated and who generated, how it is being used. So I think this is the important, we need to decrease, how we decrease the bias of this technology. Yeah.
I see. I think you had a really good point. So with most of the technologies or tools, they are neutral. It's really about how it's trained and what information you feed it. So it's kind of garbage in, garbage out. Yeah. And what about Hanny? So your business use AI to generate images. We'd love to hear about your thoughts on this.
Yeah, sure. So in the CV field, we often call the computer vision field. And the bias exists is indeed like image generation, and oftenly the model generate the white males CEO rather than the female or the female doctor, female lawyer. So the bias exists exactly. And when we talk about why and how it happens, we will divide it into three angles. The first one is about the training data bias, and the second one is about the algorithm bias, and the third one is about the cognitive bias. So I still remember 5 years ago when our team built out a small project. We recruited 150 people to label the data. And when I gave them the guideline to tell them how to label the data, I think, oh my God, I'm the God. I mean, you guys know the feeling. But it also made me to realize that the source of the data labeling lead to the quality of the algorithm, the quality of the models. So that would be the first bias, how it happens. And the second is about, even right now, we can adjust the weighting factor of the model of the algorithm, but it's still, the issue is still there. Who decide to how to adjust the factor, how to adjust the model? So that would bring us back to the problem about cognitive bias. So you cannot expect AI to solve the problem that the bias still exists when human society right now have. So yeah, that would be the three difference. So actually the bias in AI is kind of the reflection of the human beings. Yeah.
That I think you're right on point. At least until before we have the AGI.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that as long as there's still a human touch. You actually mentioned a couple of things that I want to unpack a little more in my follow-up questions. I think this alludes to kind of like another problem, which is in terms of like displaying images or displaying content that's generated by AI. How would your platform, your business, think about what content is appropriate to display, or thinking about, obviously, a lot of biased or misleading or misinformation should not be displayed. So kind of how do you decide what criteria, what guidelines do you follow to determine what's appropriate versus not?
Yeah, so for our product, because we are not building the layer one, which is the general model like DALL-E, Stable Diffusion, or Midjourney, we focus on the layer two and layer three. That means the specific model for example, our solution for e-commerce, advertising, and marketing things. So yeah, but actually we did have the restriction for our AI models, kind of the violence, and it is really interesting when we making some restrictions. It's kind of a scale, like the scale one is safe, and the scale 5 is not safe. So the real question is about, I still remember in one meeting, and our developers asked me about, hey, honey, what kind of a scale should we set? I mean, oh my God, you cannot ask me because I'm not a god. I can't decide everything. So we did some experiment to make the human or users to kind of evaluate the output. Is that good enough for them? Is that safety enough for them? Yeah.
That's very interesting. So instead of having a yes or no binary answer, you follow like a scale.
Yeah.
And what I'm also hearing here is you have like human touch to make sure that your AI tool is aligned with our values.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Sherry, what are your thoughts on how to determine what content is appropriate versus not?
I think in numbers, so I think we always have, like in our company, we always keeps in mind that every solution need to be open, transparent, and also with collaboration. So with AI, so AI is a new tool and it's changing very fast. So I think we need to really care about if AI hurts the right of human being. So let's take the previous Hollywood strike as an example. So you can find that as a result, they're having some negotiation. Then the result, I would say, it's pretty much, it might can be better, but it's already very good because the question is never using AI or not. It's actually about you need to let people know how the AI is used and how your data is being generated. For example, where is the training data set originally? It's probably from some others creators' output. And you need to respect to the creator's right. You cannot like to saying that, hey, I can use everything to train my data, I can generate everything. No, you need to really look back to the data you collect and let people know what data you've been using. So with numbers, so we also collaborating with AI company and with some community and developers. So we recently initiated the ELC standard about 7517. It can let user to easily understand the criteria behind. So if you want to using the blockchain technology to help you to grant the consent, so how you can do that and what needs to be noticed.
I see. So thank you for offering this perspective, this angle that's more from kind of like at a societal level or at like regulatory level. How do we approach this? I'm going to ask you to a more like a kind of like a hot controversial question. So brace yourself. I want to talk about like censorship. So people have complained that on ChatGPT, if you ask a question that's too morally controversial or too sexual, ChatGPT will refuse to answer. Or if you ask ChatGPT a question that's borderlining like a legal or like medical device, ChatGPT will refuse to answer as well. And this to people, it's inconvenience or can be inconvenient. But to some people, this is more at like a philosophical level, which is who gets to decide what's appropriate or not. So we just talk about like how do you decide what's appropriate or not for your businesses? But the question is like who should actually decide? So you have one extreme, which is nobody should decide. So just whatever like AI should be fully open with no restriction. And you have a more middle ground, which is it's up to the AI model developer or the business itself. Or you have like a much more kind of like big government approach, which is we should have very strict, clear laws on what's okay or not. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, I heard a lot of the users coming from using ChatGPT that all complains about, hey, ChatGPT is more stupid right now. Yeah, so I would say that's a question about creativity or restriction things. And for our product, as an example, we have the different model based on the different the users can choose to turn on the creative mode. So they can generate a more creativity, innovative image by themselves, or they can just use the standard mode. So that means they can just generate the general, the image. And I would say that's about the principle of every AI company or startup. Because for us, example, we follow three principles. The first one is the customer's needs. And the second one is about the safety, the commitment to the safety. And the third one is about we have to respect the value of the moral things. So, and the follow-up is about the private model and the open source model, because I am on the side of the open source model because I believe that transparency and the collaboration is the best solution for restriction or governance, because right now so many capital invest their money into the big corporation, and the big corporation build the model without transparency. That means users cannot know where's the source of the model of the data, even right now you use the Bing chat, and the Bing chat will give you the link of the source, but because we are the insiders, so we know how to build a model, how to build we call that the default prompt. That's not the prompt by users. That's the prompt by the company, by the huge corporation. So I would say I'm on the side of the open source.
That's really awesome. So I actually hear two valuable points. One is for your particular business, you kind of give the right or the choice to your customers for them to decide how they want to balance creativity with more restrictions. So this is very similar to the safe search. When you Google, you turn it on or off.
Exactly.
And what I think is more interesting is you have a point about how the industry or other startups should approach it, which is the open source that brings transparency. So for example, if if I go to open source, if I want to know how the censorship criteria work, I can just go to their code or like ask the community
Or the
question.
data set.
Exactly. Instead of I wouldn't be able to find the answer if it's from like big private tech. It will just be a black box for me. That's awesome. Sherry, what do you think? You actually talked about the standard. Maybe you can give us a little more like insights on how the standard was created, like what was its motivation and what problems that it will address.
Yeah, okay. So first, I very agree what Hani said about the transparency. So, and I also talk about the reason why I transitioned from AI company to numbers. That in previously we understand that the limited with AI is that you have no idea how your data is coming from, and we're just thinking that what if the data can tell you themselves what it is and who created it? And if that happens, then we can definitely build a very perfect AI model. So so that's why we transfer to numbers protocol, and we currently have two ERC standards. So sorry, I need to take my note because it's a little bit techy. So with the ERC 7053, so this is actually a history of all the digital content on the blockchain. So it can preserve the provenance of digital media and you can make the detection of AI use more easily. So it's more like an indexing system about all the build an index system for all the digital media on the blockchain. And another one is that we recently just submitted is ERC 7517, and it can allow user to grant consent if you want your data to be used by AI or not using the blockchain technology. So, and with this, because everyone knows blockchain is a transparent and trustworthy platform, so everyone can easily find the relative record on blockchain, and you can find the original creator. You can know if he default allowed AI to use his data or not. And if you want to use it, it's also very simple for you to reach the creator and probably paying some license fee and asking, hey, I want to use your data, would you allow that? Yeah, so this is what we do.
I see. So if I understand this correctly, you approach this from kind of industrial level solution, which uses blockchain technology, especially the nature of decentralization, to improve trust and transparency in AI. So instead of asking which is the person or the government or the company that decides what AI is. What AI can or cannot say. You give that to the
original creator, the owner, because I think the only one who can decide it is allowed or not allowed is actually the owner, the creator of the content. Because if the data is generated by me, of course I am the one who can decide if I would like to let you use or not.
Absolutely, that was super. I learned a lot just from this conversation, and I think now, so we talk about bias in AI. There is a very kind of related aspect, which is on misinformation, misleading information. So I want to give the audience a bit more context on this. So I want to read from the letter of a United States Congressman, and Adam Schiff to Mark Zuckerberg on this topic. So Congressman said, as I have discussed with you in other contexts, and as you have acknowledged, the algorithms which power these services are not designed to distinguish quality information from misinformation or misleading information. And the consequences of that are particularly troubling for public health issues. As more Americans rely on your services as their primary source of information, it is vital that you take the responsibility with the seriousness it requires. So I would love to kind of pick your brain on how your business or how you personally address reducing or identifying and reducing misinformation or misleading information, which can be amplified, especially in today's social media. So what are your thoughts on this?
For me, for my perspective, because I'm the kind of a person love to give the feedback. So every time I use software or SaaS solution, I always just contact the founder and say, hey, this is feature, this sucks, so you should optimize that. So the things I would suggest from my perspective is that just give the feedback on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, on everything, because I think we should care about more about the misinformation and misleading from your, what you can do is just let everyone knows that, yeah.
So I think what I'm hearing here is as users or as kind of founders, whenever you see something, say something.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And so for example, for Shohyu, do you guys have kind of like a way for people to report misinformation?
Yeah, they can easily to contact me like Instagram. Sometimes the users just call me and say,
Oh.
hey, honey, I think the image generated by your product is not good enough or not proper enough. So we just, hey, I got it, and we quickly to have the meeting with our developer teams and optimize the model like within 1 month. 1 month is really, really fast for optimize the AI model. So yeah.
So your business really like takes priority.
Product, users priority.
And Sherry, how do you think about this?
I think so because I know Honey for a very long while. So I think we are very similar. That we also like very transparent and like she said. So everyone can just raise the problem. So actually in our roadmap, and each feature is actually picked up from the community report. So we just ask the community to go to the GitHub and write down the feature you want to have. And then we will think, okay, we will move it to our roadmap and we will like build the product. And we will even like asking the community member to help us to do the end-to-end test to see if the feature is that you really like. And we also having like continuously conversation with the creators, for example, the photographers and the content generator, and we want to ask that as the feature you want to use, is the platform true technology to you? Is it user-friendly to use? So we do a lot of these kind of things. So I also want to do a little promotion is that we recently launched our new service. It's called the Dashboard. So it's just that everyone can, so if you are in a blockchain industry, you want to experience collaboration with AI, or in respect you working in AI, you want to know how blockchain can help. So you can try our new service. So it's very simple, very easy. You can just upload your photo and you can easily create a provenance record on blockchain with just like 2 to 3 steps. And you can really see the provenance on blockchain. And you can see that if you have the authorized to the use and also for the consent. So it's very transparent. And for this, so we just launched our beta and we just spread it to the candidate users, communities. So yesterday I just having the end-to-end test conversation with my our moderator. So I think that I'm not going to tell you how to use the tool. So we just treat you as a user, use it and tell me what you expect. Well, hey, they report a lot of issues. So I think I might be very busy for next week.
Oh, so it's very interesting. I actually think your answers are very interesting to me because when I research this topic, most of the answer I hear comes from very technical perspective. So what are what are like maybe ZK or maybe some other like technology that can make the model better at tell what information is true, authentic versus versus false or like fake. But your answers are really interesting because you come from very different perspective. You come from a user perspective. So really like listen to your user, listen to your community. Ultimately, the model can only do much. We all know there's a limit on the model. It's like there's statistical limitation. But you kind of get the feedback directly from the user for verification, for authentication.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is always who will use the service and what they really want. So I'm thinking that probably telling them is it fake or not, I'm saying this might not be the best answer. The best answer is to provide enough information to the user and let them to think what they want to trust and what is worth to trust.
Got it, got it. So I want to move on to a kind of like different topic, given our interest of time. So I think Sherry, you mentioned that there was a Hollywood strike. When we talk about AI ethics, I think it's inevitable to kind of bring up how AI is seen as a disruption to our labor. So personally, I'm a data scientist, and sometimes I just feel like, oh, the AI can replace me potentially. I see that coming. And then you're both in like the leadership position as like female leaders. And what are some of the steps you take to upskill your employees, or how do you kind of address these concerns with them?
Yeah, so actually, myself or other employees, we use a lot of tools to assist the work, also including the AI tool. I think the AI is not here to replace the job. It's actually here to help you to work smart. Because you need to really, so we just talked about, everyone will think that the ChatGPT is stupid, he can really answer the right question. But I'm thinking the reason is that probably the question is wrong. You need to really understand what is the question, what you want to solve, and asking the right question. So I'm thinking the ChatGPT can be a very good brainstorming tool that you can have in the conversation and to help you to find the key component. So like I say, I use a lot of tools to help me to do these kind of things. And also, actually my background is bio-industry. So I transferred to AI industry and then blockchain solution. So I would say every technology is new to me, but I'm not afraid to learn new things, to experience new things. So I think this is the same mindset that we need to have when we're facing the rapid AI era. So you need to use it, love it, and it can help you to become your best assistant.
I see. So I think, first of all, is like with all technologies, we cannot stop them from innovating. And at a personal level, it's actually, the hard part is to ask the right question, to know what to ask, and how you ask the question. And sometimes, if you write a garbage prompt, you get a garbage answer. And Hanny, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think that's interesting because I can still remember when I was the student in my university, like 8 years ago, 9 years ago, I built my first e-commerce platform that sells my personal brands, kind of a fashion brands. And I remember at the same time, I was the photographer, I was the owner, I was the programmer. And I remember I even carried like the 10 or 20 kilograms stuff and onto the 4th or 5th floor to the studio and taking the photos of our products. And it's a lot of stuff because it's kind of a repeated task for the owners, for someone who want to sell their kind of their design things. So the reason we built this product is not going to replace the people I was 10 years ago. Yeah, the reason we want to build that product because we want to unleash people's innovation and their time. And they can do other things like we can communicate with our users, our customers. We can do more things like discover the new design, discover the new materials instead of the repeatedly things. So I think that's really, AI really helps, and that's the power of AI, yeah.
So as a people manager myself, that actually really resonates with me. So I think what you're saying here is don't see this as a kind of like a threat, but see this as a productivity tool. And first I think about like what is the most valuable part of my work. So exactly. and then now you have more time to focus on that because your mountain and repetitive work now can be done with an AI, right? And then also take advantage of the space AI creates for you to be more creative, to kind of really like, explore the creativity part.
Exactly.
So my last question for the panel would be, so you're here today as like female leaders in this AI and crypto space. What are your biggest advice for audience?
Well, so I would say, like, I know there's a lot of like female entrepreneurs sitting down there. So we are really working hard to bring the good change to the world. And I would say that for an advice, not only for everyone, also for myself, is that it's no need to think that you are in a different stage or you have the disadvantage status, because the knowledge you have, the skill you have is no less than others. Everyone is the same, no matter it's male or female. So just trust yourself and be faithful. So then that's the advice.
Thank you. What about Hanny?
I'd like to share my favorite quote from the books called Dear Founders. And the quote is that the world needs more entrepreneurs to think of the new ideas, to bold enough to think of the new ideas, and brave enough to pursue them. So to everyone.
Oh, thank you. I think that's it for our panel today. Thank you both so much for being here, and let us give them a round of applause.
Thank you.